So we move from sunny Mexico to sunny London town. Hello everybody, welcome to and welcome back to my channel Book Time with Elvis and me, Mark, and I hope you're doing very well as we're heading towards the end of Dr. November 2025. I cannot believe that we're in December. Well, when you watch this, we'll be in December pretty much. So yeah, it's just crazy how quickly time flies. So Dr. November's almost at an end. I have a few more books to kind of finish off, but I have finished the first trilogy in the Bernie Sampson trilogy of trilogies, and that was with the final book in the first trilogy, London Match, by, of course, the wonderful Len Deighton, published in 1985. It picks up the pieces from what happens in Mexico Set, and of course that kind of follows on from what happens in Berlin Game. It drives the story forward to a very, I think, exciting and page-turning reckoning, for both personal, political, and professional reasons. The stakes feel higher in this book. Deighton himself suddenly becomes louder and, let's say, maybe more dramatic than he has been so far. I found it very much a page turn, and I find him so interesting that he can have his characters talk about fairly mundane things. Like, for me, relationship issues can be fairly mundane things, talking about problems with girlfriends or wives and husbands and that kind of stuff can be rather dull. It's not something that I find particularly exciting. However, he still manages to make it exciting and keep you interested. So, the book really does deliver on many, many levels. It's smart, tense, wonderfully controlled conclusion to this first trilogy. The narrator, Bernie, of course, continues in the same vein, kind of pissing off, if you excuse the language, everybody he comes into contact with his dry kind of insubordination that either they don't notice, they notice and they're frustrated, or they just kind of ignore. He's definitely more jaded as time's gone on. He's confused, but we're not confused. So we are kept guessing as to if there's another traitor in the service or not. And I was wrong. I have to say, I was wrong with my own predictions as to what I thought would happen in the book. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into the next trilogy, although I think it'll probably be sometime next year. I'm not going to wait till November. I know that for sure. I don't think I could possibly wait that long. But anyway, as I was saying, Sampson is as compelling as ever as a narrator. He's someone you can kind of really get behind, I think. He's once again forced to confront bureaucracy and the maneuvering of MI6, as well as certain issues with MI5. He is continually put through the ringer on things, and there are times you feel really sorry for him, especially with his own domestic issues as well that he has to deal with. I would say there's a notable shift in tone with this book. The earlier books had more of a slow burn, let's say slow burn elegance to them that this doesn't have, but that doesn't make it, that's not a negative at all. It's just, I think, just kind of illustrates or demonstrates very well the kind of urgency of things that are happening within this book, and there's quite a bit more action in this book as well than there have been in the other two. So yeah, I think you really feel for Sampson with his continually kind of questioning and re-questioning everything he thinks he knows about all those that he works with and surrounded with, and Deighton does a really good job of putting that atmosphere and that confusion across. So I think that when the final developments of the novel land, they land with an incredible weight and somewhat of a heavy punch, let's say. For me, one of the joys of the trilogy is how grounded the spycraft feels again. There's not the gadgets and theatrics that you get with other well-known spies. There's a lot of surveillance, interrogation, proper tradecraft, let's say, in the spy world. Political pressure, of course, as well, and the brittle relationships between different co-workers within the secret service organizations, whether they be Russian or British. So yeah, the book itself is absolutely full of these moments where I think the most important revelations arrive in whispers rather than blazing hails of bullets and gunshots, although there is a bit of that too. So as a finale to this first trilogy, in the trilogy of trilogies, it's both satisfying and unsettling, which I think is completely the right way to describe the world that Samson inhabits. Deighton, of course, doesn't tie everything up neatly because he can't, because there's still another 6 books to go. So there will be a lot of questions left unanswered, and I really have to resist the urge from plunging myself right in to the next trilogy. He gives us ambiguities, he gives us some consequences and emotional truths, but you feel, as I say, that there is that kind of open end and a lot of things left to be sorted out. I think, again, that just goes to show you and give you appreciation as to how well crafted Deighton has done with this story so far. So, in conclusion, I can say I thought that London Match was excellent. Yeah, but all 3 of them were excellent. They're all corkers. It's a tense, intelligent, beautifully controlled finish to one of the great Cold War trilogies. I don't know whether he had in mind writing this massive, I guess he probably did by the time he got to London Match, maybe, but I don't know whether he did at the beginning or whether he was just going to write a one-off trilogy. I don't know. Maybe I could find out. Maybe it's in the introduction. I rarely read them. I should go back and read them. I don't like to read them until I finish the book anyway, and I just finished it and wanted to get that video out there. So it is definitely one of the great Cold War trilogies, and I think if you do get to this book, you will definitely want to continue. Although I think as soon as you finish reading Berlin Game, you want to continue anyway. You really feel like you have to stick with Samson, with Bernie Samson, and see this whole thing through. And I think, yeah, it really leaves you eager to move on with the next novels. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and maybe even subscribing to this channel, this little channel of mine. Thank you very much. Enjoy whatever you're doing today, and I shall see you all again very soon indeed. Do take care. Cheerio.